Greetings, Warriors of the Ring. My name is Strider656, and I just want to welcome you back to another video on the channel. This one is the quick play of the league game I just had, the LoME League game against Sauron The Werewolf Whisperer. I'm going to post both videos if you have time. It would do me a great service if you could watch the long play and give me any feedback or advice, as I want to get better at that. But I also want to do a short play because I know people like watching these as well. So anyway, this is our first league game that we've played. We played a game earlier, an adventure series, but that wasn't league. It was prior to Sauron the Werewolf Whisperer joining the league. So this is our first game, and I'm going to be Shadow, and he's free. He doesn't separate any companions. We're just going to jump right into it, and I'll tell you what happens. All right, so I'm Shadow. I draw into fighting Uruk-hai, Isildur's Bane. I allocate one eye, and I roll no more. He rolls this. Pretty good roll. He starts by drawing a strategy card. I draw a strategy card. He uses the Gandalf die to draw another strategy card. And now I decide to move armies. I have a lot of decisions to make. So I decide I just want to condense in Mordor, because that gives me the most options for later. Because sometimes the do line in LoME is not fun to do at all. He passes, so I decide to bring Isengard down towards war. He plays Wizard Staff. So now that I see this, I remember in the long play, actually, I didn't even notice that even happened. But I used the character just to move these guys up, because I'm still thinking I could do Gondor, but, you know, I think this is good action for me. I have Isildur's Bane in hand just in case he got revealed, but he didn't. So, you know, and I know he can't get revealed now because he's got a Wizard Staff in hand, right? So let's see what happens. So I roll a 5. It's a miss. Now that I know that's, I'm definitely going to put Saruman out. Now that I see that Gandalf the White is very far away from coming in. Saruman is in play. He was a Fellowship again. This time he's hit. It's a 5. He takes Wizard Staff down and makes that decision. And my last action, I bring the Balrog in because he's going to be on step 3 in a second. And I bring an elite into Moria. We go into turn 2. Turn 2, I draw into We Won't Go Back and Shadows Gather. So I'm so happy I still have Isildur's Bane. It's a good card to have. We Won't Go Back. I'll play if Smeagol shows up. Fellowship, okay. Allocate Knight because I have to. Roll one more. I roll a lot of musters, and he rolls this. He says, that Balrog looks scary now. I said, yep, he is waiting. He passes. I decided to flip the Balrog to start. So that's a no-brainer play. I'm going to do that anyway. I say, he's patiently waiting for you. He said he can come out and play. That's not happening because he's got a Will of the West. He says, pass. And now I decide to bring the Southrons and Easterlings to war. I'm thinking now I'm gonna play Hordes from the East in East Rune, and go after the dew line. Even though I said that earlier I wasn't gonna do, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so he's moving the Fellowship. I'm hoping to hit him because he'll be in Moria, and I miss. He says, "Whoa!" Now the Southrons and Easterlings are all the way to war. Moves the Fellowship again. This time I hit, and I draw 2. I'm not happy about that at all. I wanted to get a reveal. Now he easily loses Gandalf, and additionally, he can bring Gandalf the White in. And if I decide now Sauron goes to war, he can get Galadriel, and he'll get an extra die this turn. So my decision now is I'm not going to bring Sauron to war. I'm going to play Horde from the East, which I do. He plays Celeborn to draw another strategy card. And I start moving my my armies over here, and I condense in East Rune. I was thinking originally, then I figured out how stupid it was. Because the Balrog is out, the dwarves are down 1, so now I can't put Erebor under siege without him mustering in there. So I kind of screwed myself over in that regard. So he flips Aragorn, and then I decide just to move towards Dale and then move these guys up. I do have Shadows Gather, so I can get these guys up to the dew line too. So now I'm definitely doing dew. And he musters the north, that makes sense. I was thinking about this too, because now if I attack here right now, which I plan to do, It'll bring them straight to war if I take it, and then he can muster and Carrick and be annoying next turn. If I attack tail anyway with no card, and he plays scouts here, but it's a Spirit of Morta. Now I know I can combine my armies without being afraid. So I'm on the board with 1 point. Going to turn 3, I draw into War of the Elven Rings, and King is revealed. Allocate Nike as I have to. I roll 1 more with the Balrog. And he has a very nice roll. But I say, get Gandalf out of there. So he removes Gandalf's die. He thanks. And he brings the guy into Erebor. And this guy goes to Westonnet. So now my decision is I'm definitely going to go after Carrick. I'm happy he didn't muster straight off the bat. So I bring these guys over. Leaving one behind. What's my second action? And I move from Far Harad to Near Harad. Now he musters in Carrick. And now I decide I don't want to deal with this force. So I'm literally going to play a Relentless Assault. Because I don't want to deal with a ridiculous North army. So I play Relentless Assault here. He plays Confusion. So I'm going to kill 2 off. And good thing I did. So I got 3 hits. I got 1 hit to myself. So it's a very deadly battle for the Southrons and Easterlings. But I do have Shadows Gathering soon. And he gets 1 back, which is a total of 2. So there we go. He passes. Now I'm going to bring Sauron to war soon. If not now, I did bring him down. So we can bring Galadriel if he wants. He uses the Will of the West to move armies around. And I decide to... I'm looking very carefully at the political track here. So the dwarves will not get sent to war for this. Let's go down to 1. And I have room for Shadows Gather. Did he pass again? No, his second action is moving up. I think he passed. He must have passed. I'm just reading the log. He says, Shadows Gather much? And he moves to Fellowship. Hoping for a hit here. I get one. Come on, reveal is what I'm thinking. And I do reveal him through Moria, potentially. He says, well, shucks. I say, about time. He says, 4 to 16 get you Strider, because he's thinking about going through. So 25% chance. I said, true, but I do lose the Balrog die. He says, no guts, no glory. He's going for it. Goes straight to Parth Gellibrand. And for Moria, I say Moria, but it's actually the Balrog first. It's a 0 reveal. It's nothing. And Moria draw 1. So, very non-painful. Now I play Shadows Gather. He says, what? I did not see that coming. LOL, it's a joke. And now he flips to Fellowship. And I was thinking before I was going to play Lord of the Elven Rings if he brought Galadriel in. But because he didn't, I'm going to play Isildur's Bane. Let's see how my luck is. I want a 3. The pool right now has 3 3s in it. It's got 2 Smeagol's. So let's see what I draw. I draw into an eye, which sucks. In the video, I was not happy about this, the long play. So I say figures. We're going to turn 4. I draw into Madness and Horror and Dreadful Spells. And I allocate 9 because I have to. And these are the rolls. So I say, yeah, I wonder what you're doing this turn. So it was a Fellowship to start. And I'm thinking, I remember when I played this, I was thinking, I'm going to bring the Balrog out and stalk them. Until I looked here and I realized that I only have 2 characters. So it would be a real waste if I use these 2 attacks that I have to just stalk the Fellowship. I need to get some military momentum. But I do hit. And it's a 2 reveal, so this is helpful. Plus now I can't move the Balrog onto him since the Balrog only moves 2, not 3. So that makes my decision better. So I decide to bring the Chief in so that I can cycle characters. Because I can play Dreadful Spells. That's all I can really play right now. He flips to Fellowship. I draw a character. I draw into Candle of Corpses. I can play that one. He moves, and he hits again, and it's an I. I'm mad about this. I say, damn, or come on, not because I hit, but because it's an I, and I wanted to be able to cycle my characters with the chief. So he takes the corruption, and then I decide, I think for a long time, and I decide I'm gonna play Candle of Corpses now, because my hand is full anyway. And I do, and I get 3 hits. Devastating. He's up to 8 corruption now. He says, oof. He passes, and I decide that I'm going to boost Mori up a little bit. Which I do. So I got 2 elites. I'm thinking I'm going to go out here and get Lorien under siege later on. What does he just do? Oh, he separated Boromir. The pathetic Boromir into Minas Tirith. I decided to put Erebor under siege. And he gives me a ring and plays Dana Ironfoot's card. Figures he has that too. Because I was thinking of just blowing that up, but not happening now. So now I'm not going to bother attacking them. And instead I decided to move my leadership around. And I put all of them to Erebor, and I put the Witch King in Druidane Forest. So that's turn 5. That's turn 4. Turn 5, I draw into Shadow Lengthens and Grond. I have to make a decision on what to discard. I choose to get rid of Lore of the Elven Rings, I think. Because I'm not seeing him bring anyone in. And so he's not going to be able to roll that many times. I allocate an eye, because I have to. I rolled 2 more. And what's good now is the Balrog. I didn't bring the Witch King in earlier, because the Balrog was an eye, and I didn't want to lose the die. So I'm rolling Balrog, so I'm very lucky with him. Let's see what he starts with. He starts by flipping the Fellowship. I played Dreadful Spell so I can cycle at least once on Erebor. Plus he just played, what's it called? Dane Ironfoot's card. I do get 2 hits, which I'm very fortunate for. I'm used to that whiffing. And then he plays House of the Stewards, which I'm surprised to see because he almost was at full hand capacity as it was. Now I attack Erebor, and I'm just thinking I'm going to play some Dread and Despairs on him. I'm not going to bother using Grond for the Witch King because I'm looking at corruption kind of right now, and that army isn't strong enough to just go 3 rounds in. So I forfeit all my leadership. He plays Confusion. I do roll 2 1s, but I also roll 2 6s. It's very lucky for me. Also unlucky with the 1s. And he rolls 1 back, so he gets 3 total, and I get 2. I count that as really good. I think about pressing, and I decide, no, not with the 4-2 army. So I stop, and then I attack Erebor yet again. This time I'm going to play a Storm of Bats on it. Well, so when it says no card, I'm thrilled to see that. That means 5 set in the reroll. My actual combat roll is nothing, but check out this reroll. I got 4 hits on the reroll. How lucky. 3 of them are 6s. So crazy luck. I'll take it. He ends up getting 3 back. It says 3 back at least. So that was brutal. Brutal attack at Erebor after he boosted that thing. So now my military is moving along really well. I feel a little bit better at this point. The Fellowship has a chance of getting to Mordor if it moves 3 times now. And uses a ring and does not get revealed. He plays Rangers of the North. I forgot about this card. This is a LoME exclusive card. So he can roll 3 dice, and he decides to go against Carrick, and he gets the hit he needs, and he recruits an elite unit and a leader into Old Forest Road. Figures. So now this is painful, and I can't really attack it. So I move out of Erebor. I get worried about military potential for him for a second, because Gundabad's weak. But he ends up just reinforcing into Helm's Deep, and he moves these guys up into Woodland Realm. All right, so now I'm thinking I'm going to use Shadow Lengthens to get these guys here and these guys here. I could have moved all of them up instead of doing it this way because these are 2 regions away. I'm just being fancy. So I play Shadow Lengthens now. He moves the Fellowship and miss, reroll, miss. He says, woo. So he's going to be able to heal finally. And now I'm thinking I'm going to get the elves under siege before they can go to war and muster. So I put Lorien Under Siege. I draw into Shelob, which is great to see, and many Kings of the Service of Mordor. So I don't have to discard anything. We go to turn 7, I think, or is it turn 6? I think it's turn 6. Yeah, it's turn 6. All right. Here are the rolls. I'm sure you can see them all. Yeah, you can see them all. So he's got a lot of characters here. I have a lot of musters. He says really wants me to move. Pass. And I decide to put Woodland Realm under siege first. That's always been my plan. So he can't muster anymore. Now the duel line is under lock and key. He says to Galadriel or not Galadriel. Tough call. I said too risky. He says too risky. I think he passes, which I'm happy about because I have the Balrog has come, which I'm thrilled to have drawn into, because now I can potentially get some hits here. So attack Lorien. He plays Daylight. My combat roll gets, or sorry, the Balrog gets 1. So I say 1, and then I get another 1 with the actual combat roll. He says, should I have taken that before you rolled? Technically, yeah. But it doesn't really matter because the order of rolls anyway is me and then free. The only thing that I probably shouldn't have rolled so quick because sometimes what you roll or how you take casualties, you don't want to take them until you know how many you're gonna take. So because you took 2 total, it didn't make a huge difference in this case, but it could. And his combat rolls nothing, so I'm going to keep pressing until he hits. That's what I'm thinking. I'm playing a card here. I'm going to play Fear of Their Masters because the Balrog is a minion, but he gets extra hits on 6s though. He plays Imrahil of Dol Amroth. I'm keeping track of that. That means Imrahil's out of the pool. I get 3. Minus 1. He gets 2, but thankfully he doesn't roll a 6. So I'm going to keep pressing until they die because I don't want any shenanigans with them. Now I'm going to do a no card. I got 1 more hit. He gets nothing back, so I've been very fortunate. And now I decide I'm going to play a Great Host here because I have to finish them. Like, it has to happen. I get my 1/6. I don't bother. I don't re-roll when I know that it's going to work. And he finally gets 6s. It figures at the worst possible time. So I'm at 5 victory points. 5 is where I want to be before the Fellowship gets to Mordor. And LoME even earlier if you can. I say, good job, Balrog. You can rest now. He passes. What am I doing? Thinking. I decide to draw a strategy card. Passes again. And now I decide that I have shadows moving. So I'm going to make this army bigger. I'm going to muster twice here. Then I'm going to use shadows moving to condense armies onto here. And then figure out my last 3 points. He decides to bring Elrond in. And I continue my plan of mustering up an Eastern Rune. He says using Elrond's dice. I say you don't have to use it yet. You wait till the end of the action to do it. So let's see. I miss. He gives me the ring. And I decide to put an elite in Orthanc to be annoying. He moves the Fellowship again, and I hit him. And it's a 2. I was hoping to reveal him here, to be honest, but it's what it is. So I just realized this right now. I said I hit him. I didn't. But I don't think this impacts the game, the result. But we'll see. So just keep track of this. I rolled a 5, and technically that's a miss. But we decided when we played it, we didn't catch it. And like I say in all my videos, when mistakes happen, you just keep playing. So in the replay, obviously I'm more calm, and I'm aware to see this. I'm apt to see these things. So sorry, Sauron the Werewolf Whisperer. I know you're watching this video. This is a mistake, and I apologize. But he drew Pippin. He goes up 1 corruption. And then he goes to Helm's Deep. Now I play Shadows Moving. 1, 2 in. 3 down from Lorien. And 4 I decide to go into Umbar. In case I draw into Corsairs of Umbar. He decides to move the Fellowship again. Now I'm hoping, please don't reveal him. I hit. And I draw 1, so I'm happy about that one. Takes a random and draws Legolas. and now I decide to move the Balrog, but I don't want to. I don't want to flip my. He could kill the Balrog right now with this action, which would be hilarious. So I was hoping he would do it. I was kind of tempting him. The reason I went to Fangorn is because it's not in Rohan and it's not. Wouldn't flip. That's what I was thinking. Let's see what he does. He draws a character card because he's stalling. And I decide to move the Balrog because if I don't, he knows I don't have Cruel Weather. He's having the last action of the turn. So I move and flip Rohan down. And my second action, I put everyone into Woodland Realm. Now he plays Athelas, and he rolls 2. So better than I did in the other game. And that's what I rate. Better than our game. Because LOL. We're going to turn 7. He's in Mordor. Look at the hunt pool in a second. Let's look at the hunt pool now. Very friendly. Very friendly. Lots of reveals, though. All right, let's see what happens. I allocate 1. I think about it for a while, but I don't really care about corruption. Because I think I should be able to win military if I'm already at 5. And then he rolls this fine roll. I would call this a Pooh Daddy roll. No movement. So now my thoughts are, I just drew into Pathorcus and Goblin and Palantir of Orthanc. So I have a lot of Palantirs. So I realized I'm going to put Palantir out because he needs to use a ring in order to actually move this turn. So he has to make a choice how he's going to use his ring. So he thinks for a while and then decides to play 3 rings for the Elven Kings. And he gets 2 back, which is huge. So I got mad at myself from it, then I realized it would make a difference because I did all the actions I wanted to do in my previous turns. And even if I use those rings, he'd still be able to get them back. All right. So I play Palantir. And he says, if I spend to kill it, I can't move on later, right? Is it correct? He says, that sucks. Let's see what he does. He draws a free strategy card. I think for a while. Then I decide I'm going to start cycling with the Palantir. And I play Shelob to get in the pool. And I draw into Day Without Dawn for a strategy card with the Palantir. He plays Thranduil's Archers. Now I kind of regret not attacking Woodland Realm earlier. And he draws another strategy card. And now my reaction is to just attack Woodland Realm and see if I can take him. Because I have a full 5 here, I'm going to play We Come to Kill, which I do. He plays Shield Wall. I end up getting only 1, and he gets 2. So I take 2. And then We Come to Kill. I get 2 more, which is great. And I'm going to press because I feel like I'm up against the wall here. So my decision is to press until I can't anymore. So I press no card. And look at that lucky roll. 2 more 6s for me. But he gets 3 back. I pressed again. And I still no card. I just need 3 more 6s. I got 1 6 on the combat. No more on the reroll. And he gets absolutely nothing. Super unlucky. I press again. No card. Nothing. He gets nothing. I pressed again. No card. And 1, 2. Lucky. And he gets 2 back. It's just funny to me how, like, he gets his 6s, but it's always the last possible ones. So now I'm up at 7. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to get my 10, though. He says, not looking good here. I said, you never know. I moved in Mordor once, 5 times in a game. He passes. And now I decide I'm just going to go straight after Helm's Deep. So I decided that this is where I make the decision to not have the mouth. I decided to attack out of Fords from Orthanc. He plays Scouts. And I decide to leave 1 guy behind just in case he has Ents. I want to be able to play the Fighting Uruk-hai. And what do you know? He has Ents. So he just needs 2 4s or higher to kill Saruman. He only gets 1. Very unlucky for him. He says, shoot. I said, another. He says, nope. And now I decide, I think for a while, he lets me take this back, which is nice. Because I realized, I thought for some reason I had another attack action. I don't. Because I was thinking I already had the ring, because I know he wants to move. So I asked if I can take it back for now. So I do. and I decided to instead draw a strategy card. And look how lucky that draw is. So I just drew a Core Series of Umbar. So now I have a chance of winning. But then I realized it'll take another turn. I thank him. I thank him for letting me take it back. He says, no worries, I'm easy. So I appreciate it. He starts mustering an elite, and I say, not at war. That's why I took my action back. And he realizes it, and instead decides to use every little as a game and put him out. Now I play Corsairs of Umbar, and I laugh. And I realize I also draw a card for the Palantir, and I draw into Shadows on the Misty Mountains. So he's using a ring to get the last action later. So he uses Gandalf to move the Fellowship. And I draw Shelob. Super unlucky for him. Super unlucky. Any other tile would have been better. And I roll a 5. So he loses everybody. And it's good. And then he uses Elrond to take the die back, so he can go last. Now I decide I want to try to finish DA off, if I can here. I'm going to onslaught them. He plays Daylight. I miss. I write 10 by accident, but it's really 0. He gets 1. Now I onslaught 4. I get 1 hit. So 2 hits, sorry. And I press again. And I decided to... I thought about onslaught for a bit. Then I realized if I onslaught, I might have no troops left. And he might be able to take it back too easily. So I decided not to play a card here. And it backfires. I miss. I press. No card again, and I miss again. He says, woo, had to try. He doesn't hit back, though. Or does he? Oh, he hit back before. So anyway, he moves the Fellowship, and he draws an eye. Very unlucky. He says, crying out loud. I say Galadriel, but then I forget Galadriel didn't make it in. So he's at 8 corruption. I tried to lure the ring in Denethor's Folly. And this is a crazy roll that just happened. So this is turn 8. Look at his roll. And look at my roll. I laughed really hard in the video because I know exactly what I'm going to do. He says, this is either great or terrible. I said, you have the option to use the ring to change the result if you want. So he decides instead to play Círdan Ships. And now Dol Amroth is not happening. And I decide to Day Without Dawn him. So I've never done this many. So that's 3 Day Without Dawn's gone. I say ouch. He says, yep. He realizes rings can only be used. Rings can't be used to change a keeper die. I said, correct. And then he uses his final ring to flip the Fellowship. So now I have to figure where I'm going to get 10 points. And I figure I'm going to go 4 cities. So now you're going to see how I do it. Or what I'm thinking. I play Return of the Witch King. I play this one wrong, just so you guys know. The card reads, move the Witch King to Angmar and recruit 2 Sauron regular units and 1 Sauron elite unit there. Instead, I decide to move 2 elites, which is the correct combat strength in terms of how many hit points I have, but it's wrong. It should be 2 regulars and 1 elite. But it is what it is. And I draw into Ringrazor Abroad because I decided to go characters. It's all me. He said, I see anticlimactic ending coming. He says, on fairness, I've had some silly good luck for a string. So now I use the Balrog to move into Edoras. That's 8. And now I play Ringrazor Abroad to move my leadership around and move these guys down and out. Now I move closer using the army die. Now I just need 2 hits. This is a more dangerous fight, so I decided to start with that and play They Are Terrible. I just need 1/6. So don't forget, I could have had 3 guys. And he plays this. He plays no quarter, which means if he hits, he gets 2. But I get lucky, I get a 6. So it didn't make a huge difference there. He says, good game, does not get hit back. But we finish it out anyway. Pelargir, no card. I get a hit, he doesn't. And then I play again, and I get a hit, and he doesn't. So that was the game. That was a very, 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 very fast recap version of the League game we played. I want to thank Sauron the Werewolf Whisperer for being a great sport. I encourage everyone, please consider watching the long play. It'll give me some feedback because I want to do more of those for the tournament games. The reason I'm doing these for league games or league are serious games because this counts towards my playoff potential. So I want to make sure my league games are really good. The latter games are reserved for the adventure series. So I'm not going to be as joking around in these. But I want to thank you all for watching. Let's look at the statistics of this game. This so you can see. I'll let you know right now it was not even fair for him. So I rolled, the Balrog rolled a lot of dice, apparently. The more important stat to look at is this one. I was plus 10 on 5s and 6s, and he was minus 3. Very unlucky. He had a lot of movement, but, it is what it is. So that was the game. Thank you all for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. I love responding to your comments in the chat. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.